Hi and Namaste. My name is Henry Jadikaya. I come to you today as a hypnotherapist that has worked with thousands of clients, and my special field of interest at this time is brainwashing and mind control by cults. And today I would like to talk about the hundreds of Hare Krishna cults now around the world. And to understand how these cults came into being, I recommend that you read this book, The 11 Naked Emperor by Henry Dostoevsky. This book described what happened at the death of Swami Bhaktivedanta, where these 11 people decided to slice the world in 11 parts, like we slice a pie. And there was already so many scams in ISKCON. To make money, they became instant millionaires. So today I'd like to give some comments on those 11 people that you see in these pictures. I knew most of them since I was in the Hare Krishna movement in 1969, when it was still hippies. It was not about money. It was not about power. This came a little later, and I would like to give comments on those people that are in this picture that I knew very well. When this picture was taken, it was clear that the 11 would not tell the world that Swami Bhaktivedanta taught that the black race was an ugly race, that women were inferior to men, and that Adolf Hitler was a nice guy. When this picture was taken, it was complete agreement on the surface, but underneath they had to keep all kinds of secrets. One of the secrets, they knew very well that this guy Bhavananda was a lifelong homosexual that had abused boys and men when he was directors of the schools of the Hare Krishna movement in India. This is a sadistic homosexual. At the time of this picture, he was raging with sexual desire, trying to contain, but it did not work. He became a serial sexual abuser when he left that sannyasin. Everybody knew in this picture that this guy was an homosexual and possibly a pedophile. Didn't say anything. And then there was Kirtan Ananda. Everybody knew that he joined with his lover Aragriva. They were lovers before being in the Hare Krishna, and we all know that they had sex afterward too. Plus Aragriva was a pervert, and Kirtan Ananda, we know now, abused all types of boys sexually. I witnessed him in Calcutta having a program where he would take the kids from the neighborhood, get them naked, give them a shower, him gawking, and then give them prasadam. I was instrumental in stopping him in 1970. I was instrumental in reporting him to Swami Bhaktivedanta. everybody knew in those 11 what this guy had done to Swami Bhaktivedanta in the 1960s. Treachery. Basically stabbed his own guru in the back. Swami Bhaktivedanta made a big mistake when he took him back. Him being back mean that many people had to die. Hundreds of kids had to be sexually abused because of the decisions of Swami Bhaktivedanta to let this guy back in ISKCON. Jayatirtha was a dear friend of mine from 1969. I shaved his head. And what happened to him was a disease in ISKCON in 1970. You were holier if you were a sannyasin, if you had taken the vows of chastity, of never having sex ever again. So this poor Jayatirtha pushover was forced to abandon his wife, to abandon his son, who became a schizophrenic, to become a sannyasi, to be part of this group. It drove him crazy. He thought that LSD would cure his spiritual longing after he left ISKCON, but it made him completely crazy, and I witnessed him being completely crazy in 1985, just before he was killed by one of his disciples. You don't mix LSD and Bhakti Yoga. It's a recipe for disaster. And he's the role model for all of ISKCON to this moment. Ansidutta. Now, if somebody had dark intention, it's Ansidutta. Apparently, Swami Bhaktivedanta told his servant that Ansidutta was the one who wanted to take over the whole organization, which meant millions upon millions of dollars. But he had to cut a deal with the other 10. I remember doing an interview of Ansidutta, and he confirmed to me that his father was the personal cook of Adolf Hitler for many years. So he was really proud of that. My dad used to cook for Adolf Hitler. Last time I met him in Berkeley, he had just used a machine gun to machine gun different stores, got pulled over in his Mercedes-Benz, and he told the police, hey, that's my driver, my disciple. He owns all those machine guns. This was a very dark soul. When I met him in Berkeley, he had some of his followers have 5, 6, 7 lovers. He would send them on the road, and they would pull tens of thousands of dollars a week. The word for Ansidutta was really, he could be evil. Well, Tamal Krishna. I really like Tamal Krishna. He received me at the door when I came in the spring of 1969. And I told him, listen, I just came back from Mexico. I was with many shamans. I took huge quantity of magic mushroom because Timothy Leary had recommended me to go there. I had mystical experience, and I know now that I must serve God and be with people who are serving God. May I join the Hare Krishna movement, please? He said, sure, come on in. that very night, I joined in Los Angeles. My mentor then was Vishnu Swami for 6 months. I chanted with him for hours and hours and hours in front of a store called Bullock downtown Los Angeles, 100-degree heat. And he used to tell me, Henry, you got lots of soul. Keep playing that tambourine. Keep playing that drum. And then I was sent to France and I met Tamal Krishna there. Just a story about that. By that time, Ansaduta had arranged for a marriage for Tamal Krishna. He had a wife called Madhuri Dasi, a very nice lady. And then there was this new thing where all kinds of people were taking sannyas, late 70, and then they would get servants that would do everything for them. So he received a letter that his friend Brahmananda, that his friend Vishnu Janan, they all took sannyas, pictures of them with a big stick. And then he used to tell his wife right in front of all of us, just look, I married you, what a mistake. I could have taken sannyas and I could have all that power plus a personal servant to do all my dishes, etc. The poor Madhuri Dasi was crying and crying and crying. It didn't last long. He kicked her away so he could dress as a sannyasi to get the power that he was craving to be number one in ISKCON.